Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschoolology. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4, and on this channel I usually talk secular homeschooling, but I will also share just our lives in general, having a larger family, traveling, which we will be doing soon, and all the things in between. So if any of that sounds good, I hope you will stick around to chat with me. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here to chat with me today. Thank you for being a subscriber and coming in, just being part of the community here at Homeschoolology. So today I'm going to be doing an update on our end of year wrap up. So I'm going to be going over all the curriculum we used and or didn't use last year. So let's dive into that. Okay, so this is for the 2024-2025 school year. In that school year, I had a 9th grader, a 5th grader, a 1st grader, and a kindergartner. The 1st grader and kindergartner are basically doing the same things, and I'm going to start with them. So we had said that we were going to use Math with Confidence and or Math UC Alpha, and we did. We used both of those. I did not pull them out. Oh, yes, I did. Hold on one second. So Math with Confidence, we did the 1st grade level. They are pretty much most of the way through. We're in our last week of schooling for the what will count for that year. We do year-round we do homeschool year-round, meaning like it's June and we're still going, but we are going to stop in July because we're taking a vacation, and then I'm going to give them a small little break before we jump back into school in August. So, but we did use Math with Confidence for a little while. We used Math UC Alpha, but what I used mostly from that program was the blocks. Okay, y'all, the blocks are gold. Even if you don't use the program, like, buy the blocks. They're a little on the pricey side, but they last forever, and they're amazing. And there's plenty in one set for like all of your kids. So like, don't feel like you need to buy one per kid. Just all of your kids can use the same set. So highly recommend both those programs. We love both of them. I used Math UC with my oldest because Math with Confidence, my older two, because Math with Confidence wasn't around when they were doing it. And so I love that program. I think it's fantastic. They both did well with that program. But I really like Math with Confidence. It's colorful. It's beautiful. The kids really, my kids want to do multiple pages a day. So, yeah, highly recommend both of those. And then we used, of course, Pinwheels. This is their last book, so we haven't actually started this one yet. But we've been using this slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race around here. We're still technically in year 1 because year 1 is level 1 and level 2. So I break it up into 4 parts because the book is really large, if not. So that's been going great. They are both reading now. We're also using the Bob books, and you can see those right there. And they are reading. We're getting there. We're slow and steady, winning the race. None of my kiddos have been like stellar readers from the get-go, and that's a-okay around here. They will eventually get it. So I had my middle daughter went from not reading to 4th grade reading level in just 1 year, one evaluation to the next. So once they get it, they get it. Okay, so like there's no, if you're struggling with reading, it's okay. They will get it. Just keep at it, keep going over those sounds, keep working on blending, and eventually they will get it when it becomes important to them. Okay, and then they'll be reading. So that is those two. I said we were going to use Brave Rider Quill. We had a rough year, did not get to any of those. And I said we were going to do a family study with Winnie the Pooh and Beatrix Potter. Didn't do either one of those. Okay, it was not our finest shining moment of a year, but they do go to a co-op, so they did learn, they've done science, and they'll pop in with us every once in a while when we do science. And they didn't do a ton of history this year, but we do travel and go and do history things. Like we always visit a history museum on our travels and things like that. And so they got plenty of other learning, but those were our 2 books that we did, every day that we did school. So I'm going to move on now to 5th grade. We started the year off with Khan Academy for math. Love Khan Academy. Finished the year with Khan Academy. She did great with that. Everything's going wonderful. Highly recommend Khan Academy. She did get stuck on one topic, and I printed off something from Teacher Pay Teachers to just give her a little bit extra practice, and that went fine. Other than that, it was wonderful. Said we were going to use sequential spelling. We did for a little while, but that soon got dropped because it just did, okay? That probably wasn't the wisest decision because their spelling's pretty bad right now. So we will probably be picking that up in the new year again. But I love that program. The only reason we didn't follow through with it was because of me, not because of the program. We also did Michael Clay Thompson for the little bit more than first half of the year. Love the program. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Very well done. Storylines are wonderful. Really helps the information stick. My biggest problem with it, and it's pretty open and go, which is important around here. My biggest problem with it is that it takes forever, okay? The lessons just take a really long time, and we were in a phase of our life where that wasn't working. I wasn't having enough time to sit down with her for an hour to work on, English, and then still have all the other subjects to do. And she was getting jealous because her other siblings were done a lot faster than her, and it was a whole thing. And I remember that I had EIW sitting on the shelf that my friend gave me to look through. So we started that, and it's been going wonderful. So wonderful, in fact, that I am using it in the upcoming school year with both of my older girls. So this was a real highlight of our year. It's super open and go, super easy to just, and the lessons are a lot shorter, and she's still learning the same, if not a little bit more, because I'm not great at teaching writing, and the Michael Clay Thompson, it's wonderful, and it does a wonderful job teaching writing, but I was having trouble implementing the writing based on their program. Me as a person, nothing wrong with the program, but this is just a lot more simple, straightforward. And so we did end up switching over to this. Love this. We'll be using it again. So Michael Clay Thompson, as much as I love the program, as wonderful as I think it is, it did get the boot. Just because we were in a challenging year and I just didn't have the time I needed to devote to that. She also finished up Word Roots Beginners. So this is the level 1. This is her sister's. The Beginners is packed away for portfolio review, but she finished the beginner level this year. She started it the year before and finished it this year. And so I kind of gave her a break from that so we could focus on the other stuff for a little while. But she did finish up that Word Roots. Love Word Roots. They honestly don't complain that much about Word Roots. It's pretty simple and straightforward, and I really, really enjoy the program. We just go slow and steady through them. We just, they only do it 2 days a week, and they only do like a spread per day. So, but they're for like huge ranges, like grades 5 through 12, so I'm not worried about how fast they go through them. So for handwriting, she wanted to do cursive. We had a Harry Potter, let me grab that real quick, I forgot to grab that. So this is the Harry Potter cursive book that we used. It's not really a curriculum, it's more of just like, I'm going to show you a page that she didn't do. It's more of just like a copy and paste kind of, or not copy and paste, a copy work kind of situation. But it does go through like all the letters in the beginning. And basically she got through all the letters and got to where it was like 1 sentences. And then when it got to 2 sentences, she kind of lost interest. But it went well. She knows how to write in cursive. It's all good. For literature, we honestly just didn't do a ton of literature this year. And that's okay. She's been doing a ton of reading on her own. And so despite the fact that we're not like doing any activities on it, she's still reading a ton. She's still getting that exposure to different kinds of literature. I think she read like A Series of Unfortunate Events. She read a book from that. She read a book, some annotated, I think is what it's called. The the simplified versions of some Jane Austen books and a few things that she's picked up from the library here or there. So she's read a ton this year. And so the fact that we didn't do any like activities based on that, I'm okay with, because she was still reading. For critical thinking, she did the critical thinking detective. My girls loved these guys. They loved them so much. And so they did the beginner level this year. We will be picking up the next level next year. They just do one a week. The book is really short. It's really small, but they did one a week. And some weeks we skipped, so it did take them the whole year to get, well, not the whole year, but like 3/4 of the year to get through this. I had planned on doing like half and half, but it didn't work out. So they will be doing this again next year because they loved it. For history, we've been doing Curiosity Chronicles. We do one lesson a week. It's going great. We don't really care about finishing it in a year, so we didn't finish it this year. Also, the new one has like 41 chapters in it or something like that, so we're not going to get through that, because even though we homeschool year round, we still only get in about 34 to 36 weeks at best, and so we are not done with that, and that's a-okay. We will continue it in the new school year. Philosophy, love it, didn't do it simply for time purposes. But I do love that, and it's wonderful. And I do have it on my schedule for next year, and I'm hoping to get to it because it is great. She did do typing.com this year for about half the year, which went really well. Both of my girls can at least type on the computer, like, without pecking, and so eventually their speed will come. I'm not super worried about it, but they both know how to type now, so typing.com was wonderful. Really enjoyed that. We did actually use that. Said I was going to do Office and internet safety with them. Did not. It's on the schedule for next year, okay? It was a rough year. We got through basically the basics, okay? And that's basically all she did this year, except for we did also add in Fix-It grammar. When we dropped Michael Clay Thompson, we added in the EIW and the Fix-It grammar from IEW, not to be confused. And so she did really well with this. She did 2 sentences a day, and since it was about like 3/4 of the year, she's made it most of the way through this book. So we're going to finish out this week with those 2 books. And then whatever she doesn't finish is fine, because we did do Michael Clay Thompson for the first half, and she's going to be doing those again in the upcoming school year. So that is my middle daughter, who was in 5th grade. She did wonderful, especially considering the kind of turbulent year that we had. And so it was really great. And she's done really, really well. She's grown a lot this year. So those were the ones that we stuck with and the ones that we went with, even though we had kind of a bit of a rough year. So let's jump into my 9th grader. So let's go over what we had scheduled for her to do. For math, we did Denison algebra. She started it. Math is a struggle, but she struggles with perfectionism, and it's been something that we're really working on. So she didn't get as far through Denison as I would have hoped, so she will be wrapping up this book at the beginning of the school year next year before she starts the next one, but she's been doing really excellent with this. This has been a real game changer, okay? Math is still a struggle, math is still a fight, but the lessons are so much better than what the things that we've tried in the past. It just breaks it down real simple. She's doing so well. It's helping with her perfectionism because she's not missing as many problems. And so, yeah, so this has just been absolutely excellent. I highly, highly, highly recommend the Denison program, even if your child doesn't struggle, okay? If you don't know, there's like 2 levels of it. Now they're both simplified and broken down really simple, okay? They're not like super stringent, okay? I wouldn't say that. But it does cover everything that they need to know. It doesn't miss anything. It doesn't leave anything out. It just breaks it down to the most simple, basic way to do things, which I love, okay? And so, but there are 2 levels. So there's one for like really, truly struggling learners, and then there's like just the basic level, okay? And so we're doing just the basic level. So even though it's, you hear a lot, oh, isn't that for struggling learners? My child's not struggling. That doesn't mean your child isn't going to benefit from this program. This program is wonderful, okay? So we have used Matthew C. and Saxon and Denison, and by far, hands down, Denison is my favorite. I wish they did it for lower levels, okay? But Math with Confidence is great for lower levels. Anyways, moving on. We were going to be doing sequential spelling, but she asked to not do that this year, and I obliged her, and really, she's doing wonderful. Her spelling's doing great. I don't think we're going to pick it up again. I think she's doing fine at a level that she needs to be at, and so we focus more on vocabulary. So that being said, we used Vocabulate and word roots for vocabulary. The word roots is huge, by the way. Okay, much bigger. If you've seen the beginner level, it's like so much smaller than this level. I was shocked. This is like almost double the size. And so she's going slow and steady through that. And then we worked through vocabulary. This was the one I kind of really wanted her to finish, because this one is it says for grades 5 through 12. So if she's not done with it in a year, that I feel like that's fine. This one is kind of more like one grade level specific, even though they use letters instead of numbers, which I love. Okay. But this was really, I feel like she got so much out of this. She hated it. She hated every moment of it because she hates anything that has to do with school. She learned so much from this, and so I'm happy to deal with the fighting and arguing over doing it because she is learning so much from it. Okay. So we focused heavily on vocabulary this year. Okay, the other thing she did for English language arts was layers of learning writing. I'll put a picture here because I didn't pull it out. But what I did was I set up like a Google document that was like, she did it 4 days a week, and it each day had a different activity, and that I would pull out of the writer's workshop and put into that document. And so she just did that activity. So she also asked for a year off of Fix It Grammar, which I granted, but she will be picking that up in the new year. So I feel like she's at a good place. Her writing is finally, we didn't focus on writing heavily because it was just such a difficult topic for my girls. And so I felt like spending the year mostly on writing and vocabulary was fine because that's what she needed to focus on. Those were her weaknesses. And I feel like she did do a lot and gain a lot, even though we didn't do a ton. Again, we didn't do any literature with her. Oh, that's not true. We did a Salem witch trials unit study, and so she did read The Crucible, and we did a whole literature unit on that. So she did a little bit of literature. I want to say we did another unit study, but off the top of my head, I can't remember right now. I also forgot to mention that at her co-op this year, she did a book club class that included some literature, and she did like projects and stuff on that. So she did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Western Games, Peter Pan, and a Doctor Who research project. So she did get a lot of literature at co-op, even though we didn't really do as much at home as I would normally like to get through. She still got a ton here, but our main focus was vocabulary and writing, and I feel like that was the right choice. She did the critical thinking detective. I talked about it in the other section. Love this program. It was wonderful. We only got through the one book. I had meant for her to do two, but that's okay. We got through one. We'll do the next one next year. History, Curiosity Chronicles, souping it up a little bit with some videos, if here and there along the way, and she's doing really great with that. It's not meant for high school, but you know, right now we're getting through what we can get through, and it's going fine. She's learning everything that she needs to learn. We're revisiting most of this because we're doing ancient history, and I did that a bunch with her when she was little. So doing good, doing great, going through all of that. Science, I had said we were going to do CK12 biology, and then after talking to her, she was like, I really don't want to learn about one thing the whole year. And I was like, okay, we can get down with that. So what we ended up doing was science chunks, and I forgot to talk about this in 5th grade. But we did science chunks units, and basically I souped them up with videos that I found like on Crash Course. I printed a few things for here and there from Teacher Pay Teachers if I needed to, like the planets units didn't cover photosynthesis. I wanted to make sure we covered that, so I added that in. And basically we still did mostly biology, honestly, but they chose the topics that they wanted to do, and that's what we did. And so we did, I think, biomes unit, an animal unit, a plants unit, some other units like that. It went really well. I really, 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 really like science chunks, and I have a whole video, I'll try to link it here, that goes over how to soup up science chunks and use it for all grade levels. So that was science. She did do typing this year with typing.com. She already knew how to type for the most part. This was just working on her speed. And she did a lot of typing in that writing program because we used Google Docs, and she doesn't like handwriting. So she's good on typing. I said we were going to do internet safety and like Office, and we did not do that. We're just gonna do that next year. She'll get it eventually. And last but not least, we were gonna cover French, and we didn't, but she did do Duolingo the whole year. I think she's like got like a 300 and something day streak. So she's learning French a little bit. She can, you know, she's like, oh, you know, if somebody says something, she's like, oh, they just said blah, blah, blah. So like she is getting it, you know. But I think next year we might be using our virtual school in our state to do French. And then one last thing, she was going to do an art class on Florida virtual school. Didn't do that either. Okay, it was just a rough year, guys. Okay, so we got through what we could get through. They still did a lot. They still learned a lot. They still made amazing progress. Even though we didn't cover half the things that I said we were going to cover, they still learned a ton, okay? They have made huge leaps and bounds in their progress, and I'm happy. Even though it was a crazy, crappy year, I'm happy with where my kiddos, you know, are now based on where they started at the beginning of the year. So it goes to show you that even if your year is just crap and you're not doing as much school as you want to do, it doesn't mean that your kids aren't progressing and learning, because they learn all the time, whether you're sitting them down and teaching them a lesson, or if you're just going about life and doing everything that you just have to do to survive, your kids are still going to learn, okay? And so that is how our year went. Like I said, not our best year, not a stellar year, but really fell in love with a lot of the curriculum pieces that we had. Learned a lot about, even, it was our 10th year of homeschooling, and I still learned a lot about who we are as homeschoolers, okay? And just knowing that we need open and go, knowing that we need, you know, simplified. We used Homeschool Planet, and in that game changer, guys. I promise you I wouldn't have gotten as much done if I wasn't using that, okay? It was a game changer. So useful, so helpful, kept us on track a little bit more, kept us a little bit more accountable, even in our rough year. So I am very grateful for that program. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend. So I'm going to wrap this up because my camera is overheating, and I need to give it a little bit of a rest. Thank you for coming along with me today. I hope that you found any of this helpful or useful. If you have any questions about any of these, or if you remember me saying I was going to use something and you didn't hear me talk about it here, let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. And I hope you would check us out over on Instagram at Homeschoolology, and I hope you will come back and check with me. I hope you will come back and chat with me again real soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.